Okay, so the dyes have been sitting out overnight, cooling to room temperature. This was the deepest dye, and last night the water was still blue, but I don't know if you can get a good view of it, but the water is clear in there. And it's just the blue fiber floating in the water. So that's true of all of these. So next we're going to remove them from the dye bath and wash out the salt and vinegar. Okay, just pouring it out in my kitchen sink, giving it a little squeeze and tossing it into the water, setting the jar aside. Okay, so the water stays clear because all the dye has gone into the fiber. That's what makes washing wool so much fun. You don't have to rinse out that excess dye like you do when you're dyeing cellulose fibers. So that's just so the water has a little Synthropol mixed with it. I'm going to pour that off. Rinse out my bowl and then put some rinse water. I'm trying not to agitate the fiber too much because I don't want to felt it. Plenty of water would help rinse it and keep it from felting. Okay, now I'm going to pull the yarn out of the rinse water, give it a squeeze, and try to straighten it up. Sometimes it helps to kind of snap it to get all the fibers or all the yarns nice and straight. And I just lay it on the towel and then I'll roll it up and squeeze out the excess water. Okay, this one kinked up a little bit more. I'm not sure what happened with it. But we got all of our ties in there to help straighten it. And then snapping it a little bit helps take those kinks out. But there's still a few kinks in there. It's nice if you can straighten them out when they're wet so they don't dry that way. Otherwise I don't know, I think they felt a little bit as they dry. They're kinked up. Anyway, I'm just going to proceed and do all of that, all of these strands. Okay, here I have washed out the vinegar and salt in the skin tones that I was trying to dye. These three were from Bleached, and this was that unbleached. And you can just see that there are, this is a single ply and it's kinked up more. And I don't know, to me it looks a little fuzzier too. But I just wanted to show the difference between bleached and unbleached. Same price. This one has less processing, but it does kink up a wee bit more, but it's not unmanageable. Okay, so I've got the yarn just laying on a towel. I'm going to put another towel on top. I'm going to roll it up and twist it just to squeeze out that excess water without agitating the yarn. Unroll it, and now I'm ready to hang it to dry. Okay, here we have the towel dried skeins of yarn sitting on a drying rack, and they're just going to air dry. I have them kind of spread apart so because they're single ply yarns and they want to ply together. And again, I just kind of wanted to show the difference between this unbleached and the bleached yarn when dyeing.